faggot.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Best Automatic. I'm your host, Captain Pervert. Now, we've been going through a small garage special with most of these quirky vehicles, cheap, reliable and all that lot, but we've been stuck on a very famous car. Yes, we all know as the VW Beetle, and we have been going through all the history with Adolf Hitler, Ferdinand Porsche, to coming up to Major Ivan Hirst, what is actually the saviour, but he is still going to be in this because this episode is dedicated on the most iconic, the Transporter.
Excuse me for interrupting, Captain Gorgeousy, but that vehicle has more than one name.
Call it what you will. A bully, a bus, a splitty, a bay, a barn door, a combi, a panel van, a samba, or just the plain old Type 2. Above all else, it's a Volkswagen Transporter.
So, to explain the humble beginnings and the creations of the VW Transporter is Major Ivan Hirst himself.
Because they came out with some right pathetic excuses, making out that they couldn't make any more cars because they didn't have any electric powered forklift track things, whatever they were.
Just play the interview.
The factory is a big place, and particularly in the earlier days before all the overhead conveyors were installed, great use was made of battery-driven factory runabouts to carry loads of parts about, materials. The batteries were coming to an end of their life and there were no new batteries available. The German factory manager, Braumann, said, "This is the end, it stops production." I said, "Not in a motor car factory, make some." So we sketched out a thing on the back of an envelope, being a Beetle chassis with a seat over the rear wheels and a long steering shaft and a flat platform, which got the name Plattenwagen in German, and a number of those were made and used as factory runabouts.
Are you saying that gives the inspiration of the Type 2 of that vehicle then?
Well, yes it did. When a Dutchman, Ben Pond, thought of, that's good inspiration, I'll draw something like a loaf of bread with some circles at the bottom.
What?
Well, that's how it started, but it didn't happen because, it got turned down. I mean, the closest thing they ever made, the VW Beetle, a commercial vehicle with a great big box on it for running, for the post office and that.
That doesn't look practical with VW Beetle having a box on the back of it. What was wrong with the Type 2? Why didn't they come out with it?
Well, Major Ivan Hirst did, but his superior, Lieutenant Ratcliffe, said no.
Oh, so what happened?
Well, they had to wait when the Germans really took over, because this company was offered to be sold to anybody, but nobody didn't want to touch it. So, Major Hirst had to get somebody in charge.
By mid-1947, the company still didn't have legally a future, but we felt that it did have a future, we on the British board, and I remember saying, well, we must get a man to stiffen up our present management, a man from industry, and I had introduced to me a man called Nordhoff, Heinz Nordhoff. I saw that he was a man of some caliber. He replaced the finance division's man as chief executive, 1st January 1948. Eventually that project turned into the van, the transporter, and the minibus variant and so on.
So it was Heinz Nordhoff what got the transporter going then?
Well, yeah, technically, yes, it was when the Germans were in charge. That's when they got the actual vehicle going. I mean, there had to be loads of changes and all that lot.
I stayed until late summer of 49, that is some 20 months of Nordhoff's time, sitting on the back seat, not in the driving seat, because we'd had top management in, and we weren't quite sure that Nordhoff was going to improve. And there was a modern factory ready to go with a labour force, with a management, with a product that was reasonably proven by this time, and the bugs ironed out. And when the currency changed, it took off. That's when Volkswagen went to spread around the world.
So how long did the British own it then?
Well, carry on playing it.
The company stayed under the British board until the autumn of 1949, when Charles Ratcliffe and Professor Earhart did a handover ceremony.
Was Ivan Hirst happy about doing all this?
Well, carry on playing it.
He's an extremely strange character, Heinz Nordhoff, strange to my eyes anyway. Extremely suave, urbane character. A cat who preferred to walk alone. All decisions were his decisions. And we were polite to each other, friendly, but never close friends. In discussion, I saw that he had a very wide perspective, shall we say, and he knew the industry, and having been with an American company, he had a broader view. He knew the technical side as well as being a businessman. I think that is where I felt that he was the right man for the job. He wasn't simply a businessman. He could get down at the factory level and do something.
Yes, he could do something. He actually set the plans for the transporter after the Germany sorted out the currency of their money. You what?
By mid-47, the place was pretty well running. But the German economy was still in a hell of a mess, because the currency was worthless, the old Reichsmark. In the middle of 1948, the currency was reformed. The Reichsmark was abolished and replaced by the new Deutsche Mark.
So things just started changing because they changed the currency of the money?
Well, yes. I mean, this isn't too bad. For 3 years, them factory workers were working in conditions where it was a bombed out factory to growing their own food out there, and obviously they were very stubborn. They wouldn't stay in caravans, make them.
Well, they started making the transport. Didn't they create the motorhome?
Well, no, that came later on, but you'd be thinking a lot of them might have thought of that idea. I mean, yeah, they might have just put some odd furniture, buying the odd vehicle and I mean, you're putting up with all these factory workers day in, day out, and you're stacking these hats with them and all, with their families and all that lot. Yeah, you'd be thinking you invest in one of them vans, because that is one of the major sellers of VW, innit? Is the transporter.
Well, yeah, but how did they manage to get all them supplies and that?
I'll just play a bit more of that interview.
And Volkswagen, well, they were able to get supplies of materials. They were able to sell their cars for a meaningful currency. And everything just dropped into place and began to work. Volkswagen was already there waiting to go. We got a German management in that could do the job. The factory had been largely repaired. The design of the car had been, details had been improved to get the bugs out of it. We had set up a dealer organization and service department.
Wow, they are getting things going, aren't they?
Well, Ivan Hirst actually thought that, the Germans might have been hiding quite a lot of stuff.
What do you mean?
The effect was unbelievable. Shops which had been empty, with dusty shop windows, suddenly appeared full of goods. Must have been hidden away in the cellar waiting for this to happen. But that appeared not only in retail shops but throughout industry, and everything began to move. That was the beginning of the economic miracle of Germany, just by changing the currency.
So changing the currency made them have loads of money and all that lot. It's a bit like influencing our producers who have actually gone out of their way to buy the actual vehicle in that vintage game GTA 5.
Now, yeah, the problem is that you could actually steal the vehicle off the streets, but they brought it out for sale, didn't they? And we thought you could really modify it, because you get seats in it, but there ain't much things you can do with it.
Do you make it go faster?
Well, you can put a turbo in and all that lot, but it doesn't seem any quicker. It still drives like the actual real thing, and that's one thing you want to do is actually, as we've got our time racing driver, actually driving that vehicle.
Right, so we're going to get bored to death by watching the GIMP, our team racing driver, driving around in this game.
Well, now the producers have got some idea that the idea of the transporter is because it's got a really good reputation, ain't it?
A reputation?
Well, you're thinking about them Germans, factory workers. They could have bought them, but obviously they were living in strange, cramped conditions. So they would have bought a few of them, wouldn't they? Because they made them. They might have bought them because, why would you put up with all these factory workers when you can convert one of them into a motorhome and drive somewhere in the bloody weekend and take your kids out and all that lot? Because that's what that vehicle's well known for, isn't it? I mean, yeah, when they first came out, people will use them as commercial vehicles, like advertising billboards. What? Billboards? I mean, people just thought, well, I can pay any logo on, like, building firms or bank caterers and all that lot. That's because they were just panel vans. And then later on, they came out with a bus. Because glass at the time was one of them things that they had a problem getting hold of at the time, in the 1940s.
Oh, you're just whittling on, aren't you?
Well, no, but, like Ivan Hirst explained about getting rubber, glass, getting batteries and all that lot. Yes, steel, you may think, because there were plenty of scrap kicking about round Berlin and all that lot, wasn't there? All that bomb damage and all that lot. But, yeah, so that would produce fresh paving of glass. Why would they, when they could make a simple panel van?
You're just whittling on, you idiot!
Yeah, well, you know what's going to be coming up, and you're going to be stop playing that pervert alarm on me, aren't you? We all know what the transporter van really represents. Yeah, hippie ladies.
Yeah, we all know that hippie ladies are all gonna come into it, aren't we? It's part of history, but with you better keep it clean.
What you adjusting?
You know very well what I'm getting at.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. You know what you're very well like.
Calm down, you may break the mic.
Look, that's them images.
Well, can't help them images. That's what all them hippie ladies used to keep their hair, isn't it?
Yeah, but the memory glands and all that lot may be showing.
Well, can't help that with ladies. They're all created and born with them, aren't they?
Well, yeah.
You can't help it, right? You know, it's just one of them things. Now, we all know that the transport is well known for the hippie men going to bars, impressing ladies about their peaceful acts and all that lot, and charming the world of the ladies, because we know that the transporter is actually a mobile sex machine or a mobile bed, because that's what they were created for. It's a van with a bed in, and we all know what men get up to when they get a lady in their van, because none of that messing about. They learnt that lesson to do VW with the Beetle. You get a lady in that, you know, the Beetle, it's all rounded off and all that lot, but no reclining seats and all that. Look, what can you do? So that's one of the main multiple purposes why that van was created for.
What a load of rubbish you babbling on about.
Oh no, it's not. I mean, it's a proven fact of history that we all know what the van is got that reputation for. I mean, it's like our producers wanted our time racing driver to go out and find some ladies. Obviously, the gimp went to the working lady, you know, because they,
they're not interested in the gimp, are they? They don't even trust the gimp, do they? Never mind getting in that type of vehicle.
Well, no, they don't, do they? I mean, yeah, our time racing driver found that reason, you know, the vehicles now go for picking working ladies up.
So why are we on about ladies for?
Well, the producers want the gimp to get some ladies for their way to get a sponsorship for advertising for wet dog flavoured toothpaste.
What?
Yeah, it's a new flavoured toothpaste, right? So the gimp, all way of thinking it's to find a lady is pay for a working lady. Obviously, they're just standing about, not really doing nothing, and obviously they still don't want to do nothing. I mean, they got offered a paid job for doing a specific job, so the gimp got a bit desperate, hanging around the graveyard.
Oh no, I don't like where this is going.
Well, it gets really bad.
What? Mowing down ladies and stuff, or going for something else?
Well, yeah, it's a bit weird that the gimp is going around arresting women, but it goes into the graveyard, and we all know what it's going to get up to.
Oh no, it's not, is it? It's not going to be digging a grave up, is it?
No, it's opening itself to little toys, isn't it?
Or at least it's not stealing flowers.
Well, no, but, you know, still stealing, innit, kitty winkies?
Well, yeah. So, what are they going to be doing then?
Well, the VW Beetle van, right?
Beetle van?
Well, yeah, I can't help it, right? The transporter, or the Type 1, right, is that it might be slow, but it was well known for the hippies for getting around, because it was cheap and quite very reliable and easy to fix if it did break down. But we have to find some locations, some picturesque locations. So the game is going to actually go around looking for some locations to advertise for that toothpaste with some naked ladies or something, because that's what they actually do, isn't it?
So, what is the gimp gonna do?
Well, the best place to pick women up is actually, you know, doggying areas, isn't it?
What?
Doggying.
So, what the hell is doggying? Is that somebody like walking their dog?
No, what it is, it's husbands what bring their wives out to remote areas, and they let other people have sex with their wife to let them have a rest or something.
You what?
Anyhow, the main idea about dogging it is knowing how to Morse code your headlights. You know, make sure you can flash your headlights and all that lot. I've been told by my mate down the road and all that lot.
Well, what does your mate know about all this?
Well, I don't know, not much, but it's interesting.
Interesting for who? You?
Well, no, wait on, don't you start doing that alarm, right? Alright, no, the thing is that with all them ladies, we were mould out. We can't count out that which lady to put on for our the promotion that our producers are after. You know, for the wet dog flavoured toothpaste. I mean, there's the this mouthwash and all.
You what? Where's all this coming from?
Well, you know, they all meet in a car park and they sell all these products.
Where'd you get it from?
Off someone's car boot, like, he gets it out and it's like, it's in a bottle.
Yeah, and what is it?
Oh, it's mouthwash.
Right, and what ingredients has it got in?
It's got a sticker and it's written in crayon, and I don't know, it doesn't have any instructions or something. You just put it in your mouth and wash your teeth with it.
What? You ain't making sense here.
I am making sense. It's like my mate says, I get a discount, right, of 1%, right, if I use my credit card, but I don't, I use yours.
You what?
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got more money than me, haven't you? Well, you did, but, you know.
What do you mean?
Well, how do you use your credit card? Because we need the publicity, don't we? I mean, there's not many people watching the channel because we found there's not that educational or anything.
Yes, it do. I'll come up with some real good facts.
Yeah, but they complain, don't they, because you're boring.
I'm not boring. It's you and your weirdness and not making sense on this program.
No, we're not meant to be arguing because nobody don't want to tune in, listening to us arguing, or what?
You alright?
Oh, the bleeding images. I might be showing nice images of them GTA, you know, nice scenery and all that lot, and bleeding, they've gone off.
Oh dear, what a mess you made of another episode you've done.
Oh, don't get you bloody sarcastic. I mean, we got loads to explain about when, you know, the dodginess when the SS turn up.
What you on about the dodginess of the SS turning up?
Well, as you can all remember that I have mentioned Ivan Hirst, the British have actually left the Germans in charge. Then all of a sudden, you know what's going to happen? Yes, I do, because I'm going to be explaining it in the next episode.
Why the next episode? Why can't you tell us right now?
Well, this SS officer comes mooching back into the factory, right? And he claims that, well, obviously, he's in charge. He was there when he had the slave labour of the Jews, and they were creating tanks and all that lot. And this guy, right, he creates, well, his son creates another very popular German car, but this one's a lot interesting. It's faster, right? Faster than the VW Beetle, and well, no comparison to the Transporter.
Right. So you're going to keep us in expense on all this then?
Well, yeah, obviously I am. Making, if you haven't been paying attention, it's obviously who comes mooching out of prison and comes waltzing into VW factory, right, and starts helping himself to parts and all that lot.
What?
Yeah, he helps him out with some parts. So, this vehicle they create is actually got VW Beetle bits in it, alright? And it goes a lot quicker and all that lot. And if anybody's out there hasn't sassed it, like Captain Gorgeous here,
I have, sort of. But I'm figuring it out.
well, a lot of people will have. So, next time we're going to be talking about, yeah, the one and only, yeah, that famous SS officer.
You're not going to say the name, are you?
We'll find out on the next episode. So, on that little flat tyre, it's time to end the show.
And you can't end it like that. I want to know.